Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
How do you feel after one of those? Can you quickly bounce back after a focal? Had a breakthrough focal seizure today during lunch with my father. He didn't notice because we weren't speaking, just eating and reading. Happened a few times to me before where I've had a seizure and if I sit long enough to be cognitively sound again, I could just go on with my day. Of course, having to push through the sleepiness and fatigue and spiked heart rate and hot flashes. Nowadays, if it happens, I try to just rest, but I was wondering, how is it with others? Do you absolutely require sleep or anything else, or can you just move ahead through the day like nothing happened? After a
I
focal?
forget about the day sometimes. There was one time where my stepdad was paying attention, and I believe I've told this story a few times. Like I was looking out of the window, like staring at something. I believe it was a tree, and he was talking, but it's like when I'm having a focal, I believe that's a focal aware. Like he's talking, but I can't really hear him, or he's talking, but I can't really make out what he's saying. It's like he's talking to me, but it's like being at a football game where you hear everyone just screaming. You can't make out what one person is saying. That's how it is. And then when I came out of it, I was thinking, why am I staring at this tree? But then all I heard was nachos. How does that sound? And then I told him, I didn't hear anything you just said. He was like, you were kind of looking kind of out of it. What's going on? And I was like, that's a seizure. He's like, we talked about that on my podcast. And I learned that that's actually a seizure. And yeah, you get that little light headache, just so you know, it's going to tell you, you had a seizure. We're going to remind you by giving you this little headache and it'll go away. But yeah, it's not like the post-ictal headache from a TC. It's just a small little migraine right here, and all that.
And take notes of that. Might help the doctors narrow it down and tell you what they could do. Some comments here. Somebody saying, I often move through the day, but I'm sluggish. It's like when you hit zero energy in Stardew Valley, but have half death, so you aren't dead. Maybe some gamers would understand that one. Somebody else is saying hot flashes. The reason I asked this is I had a day like this a week ago. It lasted off and on for about an hour. Started with dropping stomach feeling, then anxiety, fear, then a hot prickly sensation in the face and palpitations. I assumed that I am just starting to get hot flashes due to age. I don't think I ever get the hot flashes feeling, but a lot of people do talk about that. I just described it more as chills. Maybe that's the same thing they're talking about, but that's one way that I can tell that the focals are one of the worst ones. Either it went longer, or if it lasts long enough for me to be aware at all, then I know it's going to be like some feeling of recovery for maybe an hour. What about you, Jeff? Any focals?
Mostly I get focals. And I get a slight headache before, generally. And then, like Pookie describes, a more serious kind of migraine-ish headache after. And most of mine happen at night. So, again, I get that small headache before I go to bed. But since Pookie's been pushing Nature's Made, I haven't had many focals.
Me either. I haven't had any. Yeah.
I think, there we go. I think I've had one.
Shout out to Nature's Made. I don't even think I've had one. Yeah. I don't even think I've had one. Then I'm stocked up.
And in fact, I had a televisit with my new neurologist the other day. And I told him, since I've been taking B12, I haven't had any focals except for when I first started. And he said, what was that? And I told him, I said, I'm taking B12 and I haven't had any focals. And it kind of just, but said, oh, sure. Because, doctors can't believe things that we say.
Damn
You're helping
know-it-alls.
it yourself. They want to give you
Yeah,
something and say they helped you,
right,
not something you did at home that helped you heal yourself.
right,
He's probably still
exactly.
thinking, we can give you an RNS for that.
hmm No, he
Yeah.
knows that I'm not a candidate for that.
Okay, good, good.
No
Luckily they
way
haven't brought it
anybody,
up.
I'm too old for that.
The only thing they brought up to me was a lady said that I was too young to have as bad as memory as I have. She was a neurologist and she wanted to put a needle in. She said, move a little piece of the skull, put a needle in, and she could reach each part of the pocket where there's pockets where there's nothing there. And she said it would help doing that. And I was like, no, no,
Oh hell yeah, hell no.
I do no
Unless she
more.
sneezed while she was
Is
doing
it
it.
the
I
ventricles?
Yeah, I'm not
Huh?
down for that.
The
What'd you say, Mark?
ventricles? The
Ventricles?
ventricles?
I
Those
can't exactly
spaces.
remember.
Yeah. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, she showed me a picture, and there's just a brain, and there's little black spots. They do look like little pockets. I don't know if it's air. I don't remember exactly what she said it was, but she said she can take a needle and remove them, and it would help my memory from depleting so bad, being that I'm too young for that. And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm cool. It's not the brain. It's the pills.
So
Yeah.
hydrocephalus.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
not gonna
buildup of
get anything
CSF in the
back.
brain.
Say that again.
Did they ever say hydrocephalus to you? Like a buildup of CSF, cerebrospinal fluid in those ventricles?
I stopped listening to her, to be honest. She was in the emergency room. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
I don't listen to anything that they say in the emergency room. I call my neurologist, tell him they told me to do this, and
Yeah.
they gave me 3 bottles of Keppra and some refills. And he's just like, "Don't take those. I didn't give you
And just
Keppra."
sent you on your way.
Yeah, they're gonna tell me, "Oh,
Mhm.
the Motrigine works better with Keppra." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm here just because I had a breakthrough. This is a common thing for me, fortunately."
Last time I went to the ER, my discharge papers said I was diagnosed with anxiety and yawning.
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 Yawning
Yes.
after a tonic-clonic.
Wow.
I didn't no, I wasn't there for a tonic-clonic. I was there because I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I'm pretty sure it was all because I was really anxious and stressed out, just because of things going on in my life at the time. But yeah, my discharge papers, I was looking at them and the diagnosis was anxiety and yawning.
That's
That's
a brilliant
ridiculous.
diagnostician.
Right. She was fabulous.
Well, I mean that's stupid too because that they're gonna have a problem getting that claim filed and billed and processed successfully. You use a diagnosis that's not like a good enough reason to get to the yeah. These are my billing days coming back. But
yeah, what medical insurance is going to pay for yawning?
you know,
I was yawning today, so
Who
I need
knows?
some Oxycontin.
She probably figures that's not her problem, not her department.
no, it's gonna be her department. It's definitely for sure gonna be her problem. If the treatment doesn't match up with the diagnosis, then somebody got to pay.
I'd be
And if
like,
the
Yeah,
patient
give me
knows
for
I
the
well,
can't
yawning.
remember.
Let me get some Oxycontin for this yawning.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know, I can't remember if I mentioned it on um this subreddit or if it was another one, but I'm gonna use a couple of city names just because Pookie's close to me, so he'll at least get the distance wise. I know the rest of you guys won't, but my main medical insurance is Kaiser, um, and so the main, and I live in Fremont, so that's
Messed up when you said
usually,
Kaiser.
what was that?
You messed up when you said Kaiser. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So yeah, so I would go to the Fremont one because that's the city I live in, that's the closest one, but it's gotten so bad there recently, as in like just the nurses don't care, or they don't know about their specific situation. They're trying to spread everybody too thin. So I end up going to, now if I do need to go to the ER or the hospital, I ended up going to another city, San Leandro, which Pookie knows is about probably depending on time of day, can be about a half-hour drive or so from Fremont, 20 to 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's close to me.
Depending on traffic.
I used to live on
But
the same street as it, but yeah,
a lot, but basically it's a much further drive than
yeah.
obviously the Fremont one, right?
Yeah,
But I would
I
still,
heard that they're bad.
but
Well, my sister said the nurses were bad. She said that she thinks everyone is like, it might be like a teaching hospital. She said because
yeah,
the lady, she goes there for her physical therapy for her hip. Um, I think she said there was some young lady that was putting an IV in her arm, and then I guess she went through the vein, and then the other nurse jumped in and was like, "Hey, I got it," and then she sent her out of the room. My sister was like, "I don't even think I want to go back there," but
Oh
gotta
man, I have an IV
yeah. So I
story
drive
for another time.
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, my bad. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark. Finish your
No,
story.
you're in the middle of a story. I've just, in that vein, I was at a teaching hospital and I've got an IV story, but that's part of a whole other thing that I should probably cover with Pookie separately. I don't want to jump in
Oh,
on your
You can go
story
after
here.
James. James, go ahead.
okay. Yeah, my just the little bit rest of my story was like the last couple times I've been there, I've had just really bad experiences. There have been a couple of nurses that, since I've been unfortunately having to go there for so long, that I still recognize, over the years. So I'm kind of cool with them. But as you said, your funny IV story, and yeah, this must be kind of like a teaching, quote unquote, learning hospital or whatever for nurses. So you know how when you're, if you've ever been in the hospital or the ER, um, there's the arms, or kind of, the sides of the beds that pop up into place, right? And there's like the little, metal arms that go under them. Well, this nurse, so I'm there because at this time of my pancreatic issues. So we'll just say my stomach's not doing the best. I keep needing to use the restroom. We'll just leave it at that and be semi-pleasant. But but so what happens is I have to use I have to go to the bathroom. Like, it is not staying in my stomach. I need to go. Well, the nurse, what he had done was he had fed my IV underneath the metal bar for the side rail for my hospital bed. So I had two options. My option was, I was trying to page them and be like, someone needs to take my EV out. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. So my two options were keep waiting for them and hope my stomach holds everything in, or go go to the bathroom on myself because this asshole fed my IV through the bed rail, and I can't get up out of my hospital bed because the IV, I wouldn't be able, you know what I mean? It's attached under the rail. So the IV is connected to my arm,
You'd
to
have to
the
take the whole
to
hole
the
underneath
IV.
the
Yeah, so I
arm
would
of the
have had to
bed
have
in order to get
literally
it in.
like bring the whole bed, yeah, with me. So finally I kept paging them, and I was pissed. I was like, fucking somebody needs to get in here right now. I can't hold this in. And then finally it 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 happened. Yeah, I'll admit it, it's embarrassing, but yeah, I went to the bathroom on myself there in the hospital because they didn't, connect the IV properly. I yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I'm mad, I'm embarrassed.
That's their fault,
But
not yours.
it happens. Yeah, that that's what I keep telling myself. I know it's not, my fault and everything, but then finally when the nurse finally did show up to, connect that, I was like, "Hey, do you guys have any, like, do you have like some sort of just underwear or some boxers or something?" He's like, "Oh no, we don't have that right now. Do you usually have issues with using the restroom?" And I'm like, that was when I like exploded. I was like, no, I fucking don't. I was like, do you guys usually have problems with connecting an IV considering it's your fucking job? And I know I shouldn't have said that. I know that was incredibly rude, but when you had just pooped yourself and you're not, in the best condition, you're a little angry, right? And you get a bit passive aggressive. So yes, I was a jerk. I was an asshole at that point, but
In a little bit of a shitty mood, so to speak.
nice pun. Good pun, good pun. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, it was yeah, it was not a pleasant day, just to begin with, and then that when that happens on top of it, yeah, you just get frustrated, and sometimes you lose your head.
Mark, you said you had a story?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
let's hear
IV.
your yeah, you said something about an IV story. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I had to have heart surgery for a heart
Oh
rhythm
wow.
condition when I was 12 years old, and um
Damn.
the surgery was done at Jackson Memorial Hospital, which is the teaching hospital for University of Miami. So there were all kinds of, uh, teaching moments happening everywhere in that building. But apparently, somebody was learning, like, just learning how to insert an IV needle into an arm. And
Oh.
they poked and it rolled, and they missed. And so they poked again and it rolled and they missed. And so they poked a third time and they jabbed all the way through it. And then they tried a fourth time. And I am already prone to passing out from needles just involuntarily, even when I don't feel the needle. It just is a superpower. So uh I was just about to, pass out there, and they're like, okay, one more try, and then you gotta so they tried again, fifth time in one elbow, my right arm, and it rolled again. They out of the way. They didn't get it. My arm was sore at that point too. So they went over to the other arm, and it took two tries in that arm for the teaching nurse to finally take over and say, "Okay, I'm gonna," and put it in the left arm. So both arms were really sore and poked up in the lead up to that surgery. But coming out after it, my elbow was so sore, I um, had to keep my arm, you know, straight or bent. Like moving it was just painful for like a week afterwards.
Yep.
Um, so. You get the newest and the latest and the greatest techniques at teaching hospitals, but you also get the newest people. So,
Yeah. I yeah, I don't know if I can't remember if you were here or not, Mark, when I mentioned it, but that's I mentioned the story about my grandfather. Um, he he had a heart attack, and the this was in the 80s, the early 80s, so technology obviously was very different then, to be fair. But the anesthesiologist had fucked up and allowed a big chunk of air to get into the line. So he had a big air bubble go straight through his heart, which obviously is not something that somebody can survive. so so yeah, me having my health issues with between my seizures, my pancreas, my other stuff. Anytime I have a procedure or something, anything anesthesiology, I I don't I don't trust them. I freak the fuck out like in my head, like a couple of days before. I just don't like I know obviously everything has changed since this was, like I said, this was 1981 when my 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 grandfather was killed. So, I mean, we're talking nearly 50 years worth of, technology and stuff, right? So I should be a little bit more open to it, but it still always is in the back of my head every time I have any procedure done, or I hear anybody tell me that they're going to have a procedure done. It always still sticks in the back of my head, like there's this tiny little possibility that it might seem something simple, but you might not wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hate to be that I hate to be that negative Nancy, but yeah, it just sticks in my head. I never got to meet my grandfather because of that. And then me having so many health issues too, it sticks in there, and it's one of my weird things
The
that are
husband
sitting in
of
there,
one of
right?
my coworkers, back about 15, 20 years ago, went in for a routine colonoscopy when he was 50, and um, uh, the uh, scope thing probe ended up puncturing the wall of his colon, and he ended up bleeding to death internally on the table.
Oh my
That
Never
God.
sounds
came out of a
horrifying.
routine. Yeah, never came out
I
of a
didn't even I
routine
didn't even know that
colonoscopy.
was like a thing that could happen. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
there you go.
terrible.
Another phobia to worry about for you.
You
Yeah,
gotta
Not
yeah.
to not to
True. Yeah,
pile
I no,
on,
the,
but
the
it was
yeah, to start, I'm sorry you lost your, friend or coworker in that
well,
manner. But I never knew that was even like a thing that was a possibility to happen. That's
go Pookie.
crazy.
What'd you say, Andrea?
I said go
What's up?
Pookie. I said go Pookie.
You saw that
Oh,
too?
Yeah, I did.
oh,
Hey,
okay. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh,
all right, so
nice.
yeah,
I
I
got
mean,
a
as
toast
as
here.
far as oh, okay, cool.
Uh, and I got some in my eye.
Hey, it's called a tear. We
Go
we
ahead,
all
Kate. I
we
got
all
That,
we
something in my
all we
eye.
all have
that
them.
was
We all
your
have
shirt
them right now,
sleeve.
man. It's all good.
No,
That's
I
your
was thinking
shirt
about what
sleeve.
Huh?
That's your shirt sleeve.
Yeah. Oh man, the other eye is leaking. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
It's because
all
you
right, well,
keep
stay in
sticking
camera
your
frame.
fingers in your eye.
We'll look out for you. But James, what you were saying about
Looks
just
like that's
stressing about these anxieties, have you ever actually tried any methods to kind of move past that? Like have a goal in mind for the next day, like something to look forward to, basically.
What what do you mean by that exactly? Sorry, I just don't know how to
Because I
answer.
mean, it sounds, oh, no, it just sounds, kind of a shitty way to live at the end of the day, that there's still that little, worry, another stressor kind of in the back of your mind about this might be the last day. So I think my version of coming to terms with that is just, yeah, it might have, or it might be, but you know, they know not to, they know, that anybody whoever finds me will know what to do, how to handle it, and it's kind of something that is out in the open in the family anyway. So I'm satisfied with the well-being of, those I love, and that's how I kind of got rid of that little worry. Have you tried anything, just simple, like as far as looking forward to something the next day to maybe try to get that last anxious feeling out of your head? Or
Um,
phobia, whatever you can.
I mean, I have my like my little hobbies and and stuff that I do that I try and try to use to keep my mind off of stuff. Um, I've mentioned obviously like a lot of us, I can't drive. I ride my bike everywhere, but I've also been a bicycle mechanic and worked at bike shops, so riding my bicycle is a hobby. I've mentioned here, I even have it sitting next to me, a current project I'm working on, cross stitching and sewing. Um, I do that. So I do have some other stuff, off to the, off to the side to kind of keep my mind a little bit, distracted. You can see
Busy,
the
occupied, yeah.
all the little like pocket watches here on the wall. I tweak and work on on them and everything. So I do have my little hobbies, but that still doesn't that doesn't bring my relationship back, doesn't bring my old job back, doesn't bring my license back. So I do have hobbies and I do have things I enjoy, but there's still things that I'm gonna miss in life because because of the epilepsy being there. So right, I mean,
Hey, well,
I
thank
don't know.
God
Am I the
you
only
still
one
have a
that
lot of
am
long-term
I the only
memory.
one that feels like that? I mean, like,
No, you're not.
No, no, go ahead, Mark.
okay. Oh no, I was just gonna say like what I compare it to like in my mind is me just being like a regular normal everyday person versus somebody that makes $10 million a year. Of course, of course, we all would want to be that person that makes $10 million a year and can buy two houses and two Ferraris and a Lamborghini and drive around town and blah blah blah, right? But
Kind of like
some
being
things
me.
what's that?
I kind of like being me without the Lamborghini and Ferraris and stuff.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has like their own specific like goals or things that they look forward to. Like some people would be happy with owning that, third Ferrari in their garage. Whereas me,
2004 crazy.
I would be happy just to, not have it rain on a day I have to ride my bike to work. Like like simple stuff. It just seems like once you like all of us were a little more humble. Is that would that be the right word? Like we're
I
a
think
little
Uh,
you're going in
more
the direction of like be grateful, like, appreciate what your blessings basically before,
y- yeah,
focusing on, yeah.
grateful, yeah, grateful for what you have and not just always staring toward the future and wanting more. You just like, I'm thankful that I have this roof over my head because my parents care about me and take care of me because of my health situation rather than me being, living out on the street or, just anything like that. Like all of us have, I'm sure, some certain situations that we've all like counter, I don't know what the right word is, like
encountered.
mixed, like integrated with, right?
Handled.
Yep.
Like
This will
none
get
of
I handled.
yeah, I mean none I'm sure none of us are happy being, 40 years old and then having to be like, mommy, can you come pick me up? because I can't drive. Like nobody likes that, right? But it's things that it's things that we have to deal with. And we
Um,
all understand that and we all get along with each other and know that about each other.
Ours is kind of all different. I don't call my mom for a ride. I don't call anybody for a ride. Nobody even knows I'm leaving most of the time. Um, just don't say that you can't be happy because you're 40 and you have epilepsy. Um,
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm not happy. I'm not saying I'm not that I can't be happy. I'm just saying it's a different situation from most people our ages, right? Like most people don't understand
but I
what
can't
goes
Yeah,
say
it's
that
a
on.
little
it will be a
something.
long time ago. And I kind of got used to it, so I'm not necessarily, I'm not going to say you sound embarrassed, but you sound like, I don't have the word right now. It's not coming to me.
Yeah, just go with come to terms.
Yeah,
Insecure.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can say it. Yeah,
it doesn't sound
yeah,
like he's exactly
it
coming
has
to
been a long
terms.
it has been a long time for me, but I still am. I don't know, and I don't know why. But I still am. Yeah, a little ashamed. I guess it's just because I still have that hope of like maybe meeting somebody someday and having like a relationship.
That's what I was going to say is
And
don't give up hope. That's when you know you're
so
unhappy. Don't give up hope.
yeah,
Things are going to happen. Don't sell your stuff. I mean, don't, what do I say? I don't exactly, what is the word?
Don't
Look
settle. Don't
forward to
settle.
things. I don't exactly look
Oh,
forward to things because then you're like, oh, it's going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, you can be a little sad about it. So I just be like,
yeah.
something is going to happen. And if it happens, it happens. If I'm there, then I made it there. If not, then I didn't think too much on it. Of
all right. Now, Mark, did you forget what you were going to say?
course not.
No, we just moved on. It's fine.
Oh,
Are you sure?
uh,
I don't remember what the question was anymore.
I got one.
All right.
It says, am I getting seizure auras? I'm taking tapentadol, dope or in dopae, and from alcohol. After looking, after looking it up, they can cause seizures in rare occasions, but also can cause weird sensations. Anyway, I like getting like a full body fuzzy sensation that lasts a second. It starts it starts as if it's in my brain is a light that spikes for anxiety. And then a feeling of my body is a fuzzy and it feels like I've lost control of my body and about to. It also complained like a deja vu feeling of what I felt in my dream last night. Like the exact feeling I felt in my dream. I don't have any body stiffness, shakiness, twitches, or anything, just that weird, fuzzy feeling that lasts a second. There's a lot of words that aren't spelled right here, and I don't know what that one is. But the question at the bottom is it the meds and my anxiety, or is it a seizure warning? Um, I think it could be the alcohol mixed with the medication as well. Um, that was the first thing that came to mind when you said alcohol, and didn't even have to name the medication, but the alcohol can also give you the fuzzy feeling. Um, isn't your medication, especially if you're taking it with alcohol.
Way too risky to drink when I'm on any of these AEDs or benzos because there was a reputation of just bringing up all the worst side effects and canceling out the effect that it's supposed to have.
Well,
I
So
drank
and
yeah,
four.
drinking on benzos is just like downright dangerous. That's,
death
I
wish.
mean, roofies, like Rohypnol is a benzodiazepine, I believe. So, just the alcohol exerts its effects on a lot of different neuroreceptors, but the biggest one responsible for the intoxicating feeling are the GABA receptors, especially the GABA A receptor. and benzodiazepines happen to also exert their effect through binding at the GABA A receptor site. Their action is a positive. It's like turning up the gain on it. I'm not sure how to pronounce the word exactly, but it's a positive allosteric modulator. So when the GABA A receptor is activated by whatever molecule fills that role, the signal that that neuron sends is amplified by, whatever degree, depending on how that particular benzo binds to the. So when you have a benzodiazepine in your system already, and then you go and you start drinking alcohol, that alcohol is just multiplied by, who knows how much. So it's extremely dangerous. Uh, I mean, the risk of death by overdose is, um, I mean, not even just you're choking on the vomit, and don't wake up. There's a risk of respiratory depression where you just fall asleep and stop breathing. Your brain does not even send those signals anymore. So, yeah, alcohol and benzodiazepines very, very, very dangerous.
Is lamotrigine a benzodiazepine?
Lamotrigine, no.
Okay. Yeah, I was drinking all up until I started this basically. And yeah, I was smoking and I stopped smoking nicotine, so I stopped smoking cigars with my weed. Cold turkey. No one would ever
Nice.
believe it. I was like, I got to be an example here. Everyone over here is telling me what triggers are. And I was like, maybe if I stop these triggers, let's see if I can go longer than 4 months that I was not going more than 4 months while smoking nicotine.
Hmm.
Last time I drank was Easter. Then I started this and I was like, okay, yeah, they're telling me all this triggers and seizure thresholds and stuff. I didn't know what a seizure threshold was. I'm just like, I'm having seizures. I didn't know there was something lower right now. I've been drinking and doing all kinds of stuff that never could figure out my triggers, because I did all the stuff that people aren't supposed to do when they have epilepsy. Drinking, driving, staying up all night. Yeah, some people said smoking weed, nicotine. I've done all that. I can't figure out a trigger to be one specific thing.
I'm glad the smoking weed isn't one of them. Yeah. But
Smoking weed helps. It really helps. Like a few weeks
yeah.
ago, you should have seen me. I was going through it. I had the impending doom feeling. And that's the first time I understood what it meant because
Oh, okay.
someone's come on here and explained it. I think I've been through that a few times, but I did not know what it was.
I was gonna say, don't forget stress and sleep.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, and he needs
Uh,
to hear that too. Okay. Thank you for contributing. That's important. No, I mean, triggers took a long time to narrow down. If I had never started taking notes, I would have never realized. I mean, the ER maybe twice, I think, in high school told me about dehydration, but I didn't put two and two together until it happened. Oh, Andrea, you
Last
have a really
drank
important one that Pookie needs to
Easter.
hear.
I was
Sorry,
like
Mark.
talking about, I was like stress and sleep are big ones too. I just found out recently, I think stress is my trigger.
Stress. I think stress probably took me the long enough to at least admit to.
Can you hear me?
What about you,
I
Yep.
Andrea,
can
with the
hear you.
stress thing? Did did it take kind of one big event or did it take a bunch of events to really convince you that stress was one of your triggers?
There
There,
was a very large event and I had a seizure about a month after that, and I didn't think that much of it because you know, it was kind of okay. I had another one. This sucks. And then I
Quite as
had
devastated.
what I was not sure about, but thought was probably a seizure, but just a very small seizure. And then some very big, stressful stuff happened. And then, like the next week, I had another huge seizure.
Damn.
And that
And
one was
all of
like,
those surrounding that one event, or like you focusing on that event.
and then the next one, the 2 weeks later one, was the biggest one I think I've ever had. That's the I spent 2 days in bed and took me forever to recover, and I've never had one like that bad before. And they're
It,
all related to the same big stressful event, kind of, in a way.
yeah, it was hard to accept that even if you're thinking about something weeks or months after it's happened, that can still send you over.
Yeah.
Welcome,
After it
Tom.
happened, you mean
Oh,
like
sorry, Mark.
thinking
I
about?
know, I know you're waiting. Go ahead.
Or
Well,
Tom.
no, you said after the fact, so you find even thinking about stressful events in the past that you've been through is enough to put you in a
No, it was just like
lower
I
threshold.
had the the first one was a month after, and then the other one that was really small was in stress leading up to an event, and then I had a massive one after it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, for the stress to actually be the trigger, it always has to be in conjunction with. If I haven't been eating or drinking for a few days, or if it's just the wrong week of the month or something like that, it's kind of a perfect trifecta to have the bad ones.
Yeah,
But other than
I
that,
think
focals once a week.
I think it's when mine's like really big stuff that piles up type things, and I tend to get really anxious and have more of the focals ahead of time when I get stressed out.
Oh, so yours is
So
more like an anticipation of stuff.
I think that's what I'm noticing the pattern to be. Finally.
Hey,
Finally.
this is pretty good. But I know it feels like finally, but for real, we've some of us have been living with it for
Hmm.
decades and still
Yeah.
probably don't know all our triggers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
any progress is a big deal.
That's the way I look
Yeah,
at it.
oh, I was gonna say, yeah, for me personally, it's hard to tell, whether it's like the placebo effect or not, right? Like, something happens in your life that's, crazy hectic or whatever, and then you have a seizure a week later. Like, was it that added stress that actually triggered it, or was it just that your body finally, that was when it, decided to freak out and have its seizure? And so it's hard to tell whether it's one thing or the other, if that makes sense. If it's that far apart. I mean, obviously, if you went through an extremely stressful event and then had a seizure, like, 2 hours later, then yeah, that's probably the trigger. We can all agree on that. But when it's like a week or so later or something, that I have had that happen before, but it just puts it in my head as kind of like a question mark. Like, was it the seizure, or sorry, was it the stress that caused the seizure?
It just
Yeah.
seems to be a pattern
And that's when you
that
take
My
notes.
body
I'm
happens to
right.
have them once
I'm
in a
gonna bring
while.
it up
Yeah.
to the doctor.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you
Yeah,
take your
yeah, yeah.
notes,
No.
you study the trends, and have the doctor make notes, because that is the most frustrating part sometimes about these neurology appointments, is you tell
Hmm.
them, some developments maybe that you've made, and it doesn't end up in the clinical notes. It's still just enough to get it billed and get you out.
Yeah,
So the journals are important.
absolutely.
Now, welcome, Tom.
Exactly.
We
I've learned after, like almost 20 years of this stuff now, that, you know, tiny tiny little stuff that seems insignificant right now will, or possibly, depending on your situation, could make a huge difference 10 years from now. So maybe this is your first or your second, third, one of your first few times of having a seizure, and you just think like, okay, this will pass, it's not a big deal or whatever. But no, for those who are just unfortunately having to start out on this type of journey, write things down. Write everything down. Like, you know, say it's your first, it's your first time, grab a notebook and be like, it was August, it was 80 degrees outside,
Make
I
a
was
journal.
very hot and sweaty and blah blah blah. Write down the details, so that way you can kind of sync things up later on. So if it does become a bigger issue in your life, you can kind of narrow it down and hopefully get, to something that'll hopefully help you out. Sorry, that was a rant. I know. I'm sorry.
That's
Great
Tom
testament for
101.
notebooks.
What
And
was that?
it's a
Uh,
perfect welcome for Tom. So what we were going to
It's
ask
Tom
you is
101.
that there you go.
Your mic's
So
off?
now
Oh,
you guys make me feel awkward.
Okay, there you
Why?
go.
Why would you
There
feel
you go.
awkward?
It's not all about you, James, I promise. So we just asked Tom to unmute and, these technology things take a minute. Go ahead, Tom,
I'm
what's up?
unmuted.
No, I know. Just because I went on that long rant and then nobody said anything, I felt like I was just like
Don't get me started.
that old grumpy man. Sorry.
Come on, you're in your safe place right now. You're good.
Yeah.
You're prime, man. You're not old.
So how is everyone? I haven't been on for quite a while.
For
Yeah,
real. Good
absolutely.
to see you
Missing it.
again, Tom.
I'm alive.
Last night I don't know what it was, but I woke up. I was bouncing off the walls and I couldn't go to work this morning. I still don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a seizure or what. My wife's like, I don't know what happened to you last night, but you were bouncing off and stuff.
Is that
So,
usual around your seizures?
pardon me?
Is that usual around your seizures?
No, I usually well, if I have a seizure, yes. Yes, Tracy says I don't listen. If if I've got something going on in my head, then I'm going to do it. But no, this was just really odd because I was going to the bathroom and usually I just hold on to the wall and make my my way there. I couldn't even walk. And this went on for a couple hours. So it wasn't like after a seizure, you get a little dizzy for a bit, but no. I'm still kind of dazed.
Yeah.
I called my
That's-
boss and told her, and she says, well, thanks for calling and letting me know. But she's really cool. She's like, hey, if somebody's not feeling good, just call me and tell me you're not coming in and I'll make do. So she's cool.
a good boss. Hard to come by.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My boss wanted me to stay at work. I did actually stay at work, and I was a cashier. Had a seizure at the register. After the ambulance up, she was like, "You want to stay?" Me? Need the money? Sure, I'll stay. At that
So did
point,
I
I was
miss
like,
something like your icebreaker or something?
Oh,
okay,
Do
thanks
those
for reminding me.
anymore?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah.
Would you rather be able to teleport or stop time?
Teleport?
Yeah, teleport or stop time.
Teleport. Because as
Okay.
far as stopping time,
Yeah.
nah. See, if I can teleport, I can go where I want to go. Do
right.
what I want to do. You're
been
stopping
depending on
time.
that.
That's just ends everything right there. No, I want to teleport.
Yep.
Although I'm not a Star Trekkie. I'm not a Trekkie. But I don't know where that one came from.
You get your independence back.
Who came up with that one?
Okay.
I found a list.
Not gonna live
So-
long and prosper.
Live long and
Yeah, that would
prosper.
definitely solve the transportation problem that a lot of us have.
Oh yeah.
The Spock. There we go. The Spocker.
So am I alone then so far in this icebreaker?
No.
I think who
Am
else
I the
picked
only time
stop time?
stopper?
Well, Mark,
I
did
think
you
so.
answer it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
would stop time.
Why?
I mean, you can do basically the same sort of thing. I mean, teleporting, just stop time and then go over there and then resume time. But there's all kinds of other shenanigans you can do with time stopped.
Yeah, but
Um,
remember, you don't drive,
yeah,
right?
that's fine.
So
I got all the
you stop
time in the
time.
world.
You got all the time in the world to walk. That's true. But
That's true.
personally, I
Stop. You
like
could stop
I got
time for
lots of
two.
stuff I
You could
want to
stop
do.
time for 2 years and walk all the way to like
Well, I
Afghanistan
mean,
and go over there, right, and grab lunch, right?
I
Like,
can go ahead and get religious on you people, but I won't do that. So,
Oh,
Go ahead. We need some religion today. We had
uh,
yeah.
someone run out because she heard something say vagina.
well, in the Bible, it says that we're all going to be resurrected and live here on earth. So I'd be able to do everything. I mean, because we're going to live forever on earth. That is what the Bible says. So we'll be able to do anything we want to do, anything we've ever wanted to do, because we're going to live forever.
Does it get
Okay, now I
specific about
went
what
and
form?
went religious on you guys, so I'm done.
I'm
oh
21
yeah.
female and currently in my second year in
You
college.
are.
My epilepsy, oh, I wish. My epilepsy makes me so tired all the time. I will get 8 hours of sleep, but be tired for after being awake for just 2 or 3 hours. I try to study or do assignments, but I really just want to sleep. I also have ADHD on top of my epilepsy, which also makes me tired and sometimes harder to fall asleep. Has anyone else had this or similar issues? And how do you deal with it? I'm trying so hard, but I'm just so sleepy all of the time.
I
Oh,
got it.
college
I
doesn't
deal
sound
with it all
easy.
the time. How do I deal with
How,
it?
yeah, because you have the full-time job. You have a pretty packed schedule too, right?
Yeah.
I take B12 by Nature's Made. Shout out to Nature's Made. It gives me energy for some reason. The energy that I never had and all the fatigue that I used to have in the focals. It took away kind of all that. I had more energy than usual. Like now, sometimes if I wake up at like 8 o'clock, some reason I just can't go back to sleep and I feel like fully rested and not used to that. I'm used to being a little drowsy and go back to sleep when I go to the bathroom, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes I'm up and I feel like my body's just like, hey, you're ready. You got enough sleep. Yeah. Try some B12 by Nature's Made and let me know how that helps you.
I go to
And maybe
sleep
cut
at
the
10
benzo.
o'clock every night.
Shout out to
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Nature.
it's
I
more
actually have a bottle of Nature's Made B12 in the mail on the way. It's not here yet, otherwise I'd be showing you. So, yeah, we'll see. Next week I'll have some stories to tell, hopefully. Energy and pep.
That's
Yeah.
always good. Energy and pep.
If you use Instacart and there's a Safeway near you, you can get 2 for 1 on Instacart, or you can go to CVS and get 2 for 1. Shout out to CVS.
CDS, that's where I
Yeah.
work. How do you remember that?
Wait, CVS? You work at CVS?
CDS.
Oh, I don't exactly
I'm
know what it is.
sorry. I thought you said CDS.
Nah.
CBS. I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, I was talking about the drowsy thing. That's how I fight it. On to the next. How do you guys fight that fatigue and being drowsy?
okay. So the first comment is saying I'm on Depakote. It makes me tired. I've just incorporated a 1 hour nap in after work. I'm sure it's not more than an hour. Has this always been an issue? Are you pregnant? Maybe I know it's not my business, but if you randomly just got tired, I'd take a test. Yeah, that is a pretty good first sign.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, but I mean, college hours and not being able to fall back asleep is definitely annoying. When you feel tired,
Annoying. Yeah.
well, and that's probably not a pregnancy thing. When you're actually pregnant, the first couple weeks, I mean, for what I remember was definitely actually sleeping like 10 hours every time. Somebody else is saying here that, oh no, the poster replied to that saying, certainly hope not. I'm going to try to incorporate the naps after my classes, but I have terrible self-control when it comes to nap time. So yeah, it sounds like something they might want to bring up to the doctor if they try to take a nap and can't do it. If your body feels tired but can't get the sleep, that might be
Yeah.
when I would take it to the doctor.
I got something that says deteriorating motor skills. Has anyone else found that more tonic-clonics they have, the worse their motor skills become? I developed epilepsy in 2022 very randomly, and I've been having focals and tonic-clonics since. I get Todd's palsy, paresis, almost every time I have a tonic-clonic, which can last for a couple minutes to a couple hours to a few days. But I've noticed over the last year or so that my generalized motor skills can someone pronounce this? It's PROTRIO. Proprioception, I think.
Proprioception.
Proprioception.
Yes,
I've
it's
never seen that word.
the sense of being able to, or the awareness of one's own body in relation to itself, like knowing with your eyes closed where your arm is, and that kind of stuff. This sense of orientation and physical um
Awareness.
yeah, physical awareness.
Okay, thanks for that. Now I can do it. It says, but I've noticed over the last year or so that my awareness have that my generalized motor skills, proprioception, and spatial awareness have been getting worse. I've become much more
And it will.
clumsy, no longer write for long periods of time, and relying on the swim and climbing to keep my body vaguely in time with each other. My MRIs have come back clean, so I'm a bit at a loss. Has this happened to anyone else? Yeah, my motor skills are deteriorating a little bit, time to time.
Your motors, when you have seizures,
better.
your motor skills go down.
Yeah, me writing, I hate writing, especially after a seizure. And I ask you to sign things. Yeah. Ever
Yeah.
since I have not had school, ever since I left school, I haven't had to use a pencil much. So when I do use a pencil, my handwriting has declined in that department.
My penmanship is atrocious.
Mine used to be good, but yeah, I think I haven't used it a lot. So it's either use it or lose it, my mom says. James, you okay over there?
Yeah,
No.
just really sleepy. I'm hanging in here, man. I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening, man. Sorry, I'll put it on mute so I'm not lagging.
We've all been
Gotcha.
there, my brother. I'm there right now myself.
That orange juice looks good, Tom.
It's just something to drink, some juice.
Orange juice and water. That's pretty good for me. Watermelon juice.
It's mango peach juice. It's a nectar.
Ooh, mango.
it's not
Right.
gin.
No, I don't drink.
You're not sipping on gin and
I
juice.
used to. I was a Tanqueray for years.
I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
Yeah,
I never had
Tanqueray.
I got something that says one of the comments on there. It says I wrote a post about this several months ago because of what's happening in my darts game. I know it's kind of ridiculous to be worried about being able to play darts. Well, it's actually something I get a ton of enjoyment out of. I play in a league, and I'm not trying to brag, but I've been doing it for years, and my team is very high tier, and we're doing good. In the last half of the last year, I threw just fine. Then suddenly I keep throwing my darts, go way off to the side on my hand, or my hand holds onto them too long and they go below the board. It's kind of a scary because sometimes it's really that bad. The consensus of my post was that it's all in my head, and I've heard that from a lot of people, but I feel like it really isn't. Is it sort of like what you're talking about in terms of motor skills? And that person didn't respond. So
That's kind of, I mean, it's kind of interesting. The there's a difference between the fine motor skills for like, writing or, I was thinking I have a lot more
You're
trouble
like rolling a
rolling my own
joint.
joints. Yeah. But the throwing darts is kind of larger, like gross motor action, and coordinating that with trying to time the release.
As long
That's
as he's not throwing darts and having seizures,
yeah, yeah, or at
that would be
least
a bit
not
of an issue.
not facing people. If you're throwing darts by yourself, I think that's probably okay.
You're
But
not in a room full of people.
yeah,
he's in a
yeah.
league.
But
So yeah.
I got a dartboard up right over there, and I can't use it because I keep throwing low, and I punched a whole bunch of little holes in the wall. I got to figure out a solution for
Put up a
that. So
piece of plywood.
yeah, yeah, something like that. But the problem is that the shelf with the lava lamps is right underneath the dartboard. So I got to find another place for the lava lamps, but there's no good spot for the lava lamps that doesn't, throw off the stoner feng shui of this whole
Mark, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
39.
Wow.
Mm.
And you got lava lamps hanging around?
Oh man, well, there's 4 over there. I got another about 20 in the garage.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with
It's
young stoners, Tom.
What's that?
Talk about hobbies.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
no
with
kidding.
young
There you go.
stoners.
young. Am I young?
Hey,
Well,
you
to
have
me,
some
You
you
stoner
are.
are,
feng
You're
shui.
very
Mark.
young.
To
You're
me, you
very
I
are.
young.
suppose.
I
Yeah,
don't see
39.
somebody that's in their 30s with lava lamps.
Stoner
It's a
feng shui. You
collection.
got your reason right there.
You
Well,
see
hey,
over
yeah,
over there,
I wouldn't have
over there, that
expected that.
one. The red one, the Carlisle, it's called the Carlisle base. They don't make that one anymore. They haven't made that for about 20 years. Um,
There's a
But
lot
it's
it's
of
like
them that
kind of
don't make it
vintage.
wizard.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah. The globe that's in it, that's a number 8 combination orange liquid white wax from 1996.
I'm
So
I'm
super
64.
vintage. That globe
So we're
is
talking
worth,
60s here.
yeah, well, if I went on eBay and sold that globe, I could easily get $100 just for the globe itself,
All
not
right.
even the base and the cap. So there's a whole bunch of like midlife crisis people like me going out and trying to recapture their youth
Well, good. I'm
90s
not saying
lava
there's
lamps.
anything wrong with that at all by any means. Keep it
Yeah.
up. You got
Not to
something
mention, this is not a midlife crisis.
I
no,
Hey,
still can't
But
believe you
not
said
old
you're
enough for a
39.
midlife crisis.
hey
39.
Tom.
Enough to have a
I was
midlife
gonna I
crisis.
was I was gonna throw in there too, Mark. I've mentioned before I'm 39 as well, and I've
Yeah.
mentioned my pocket watch uh collections. Um that's just part of it. Here's another part of it. But
Cool. I like
But
that.
basically, I have ones from the early 1800s. My earliest one is from 1802.
Oh,
So so
Yeah, you
yeah, it
see,
doesn't matter
you
what your
look
age
like
is or what you're
a
into.
serious
no.
Antiques are
collector
antiques,
person.
man. They're beautiful pieces of machinery,
There you
and I
Yeah,
go.
absolutely love them.
That's great.
yeah,
I know that sounds
that's
super.
serious
Mark,
collecting. This is
same to
just
you.
kind
Good,
of
you know,
college.
kudos,
I know
kudos.
that sounds super nerdy, but I'm just saying, anybody, yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, you can be into whatever you're into, man.
That's it.
Yeah, man, I like your collection. How
I'm
much you think
gonna
And
it's
now that
worth?
start.
you put it on camera with the dartboard there, that shouldn't move. I see why it's set up like that.
Uh,
That does look good, better.
yeah, but I'm gonna start working on my own formulations for the wax and the liquid and stuff because the ever since the company was sold, the Lava brand was sold to a Chinese manufacturer in 2005, and ever since they moved manufacturing overseas, they don't flow the same. The 1990s lava lamps get all like snaky and blobs and move all around. The new ones just, blob up and down, like super boring. So I'm
Mm.
gonna work on trying to get the density of the liquid to match the density of the wax and try to get the colors right. I have an idea to add a an ultraviolet reactive, like fluorescent dye to to
Oh,
the
nice, like a glow in the dark.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that the I mean it'll flow and stuff, but then it will react and fluoresce in a completely different color. So yeah, lots of plans. Who knows how any of it'll turn out. It'll be
You should,
messy
dude.
though, that's
You
for
know
sure.
the what was the movie called? The not fluoride. Fluoride's not the right word. The damn it. The Radium. I think it was Radium. The Radium Girls.
Oh yeah.
You remember that movie where they would like
I
it was
didn't see
them.
a movie. I know the history of them. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
the
but
radium paint and stuff, and they
yeah, they would radium
lick the
paint the you know
paintbrushes to get the
the hand
point.
dials and the dial of
Oh,
the
you have
watches
radium watches?
and how they would be glow in the dark. And obviously you can't
Yeah.
tell because it's daytime,
Right.
but you can
But
see
that's an
maybe a
actual
little bit
radium
on the
watch.
hands. But yes, all of the indicators, the hands, the dials, they're all glow in the dark on the on
Really
this
cool.
one. This
Really
this
cool.
was made in 1940. It's a Waltham 1941 watch, and it has radium hands, dials, and indicators on it. And as you can tell by having it right there, I regularly wear it.
I mean, yeah,
I don't
that's a
care
piece to be proud of. That's pretty cool. The
about
radiation
that.
you
Yeah,
get from
exactly.
that,
I'm
that's
proud
not,
of
you're
it
not
because
eating it,
yeah, because I
you
own
know.
it. And there's exactly, yeah. There's not many out there, and I also feel that wearing it and letting other people know about the story gives respect to the women that had to work on it, that had to be put in that situation. It wasn't like they were given a choice really at that time, right? You know, we're
Well,
talking
they were employed.
1941.
They
Well,
just
they were
the
employed, but I mean,
norm.
we're talking about 1941. Your husband's off, in Germany fighting off, Hitler. You got to feed your children.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
I
You
mean,
don't
at
know
that point
about
though,
you know
they
you
didn't
don't know
know that
about the
radium
downsides of
was
uranium and all of that stuff
dangerous.
at that time. Oh yeah, no, of course it was dangerous. I'm just saying, like, we don't hindsight's 2020.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I don't,
Like
it
we know.
wasn't like they were told to go do this thing that we know is
Oh yeah, yeah,
dangerous.
yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
like,
No,
go
no,
do
no,
this
no.
thing. And then
Like
after the fact, it's like, oh, hmm. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Well,
I'm not comparing. I'm not trying to compare
yeah,
it to like
the
slavery
war effort. I mean,
or anything as terrible
in fact,
as that.
honestly, those painting those dials, the glow in the dark watches and stuff for the servicemen overseas was a very important uh, part of the war effort. So
Oh yeah,
it was
yeah.
definitely well respected and appreciated in its
And
time as well.
I have a couple of ones that were like Mariner ones. They were in like a probably like about like a 12-inch by 12-inch like wooden box on a gimbal, and they were the one that was like in a submarine. So no
Oh,
matter
cool.
which way the submarine was floating, the watch would stay level and the time would stay perfect. I
Hmm.
have one of those. I have a couple of these ones were used by pilots uh, in the war, so it would
Hmm.
stay in this, and it was a similar one. So well, it wasn't in the wooden box, but it was in the box, and you can kind of tell here it's on like a spring, like a yeah, like springs. So it would keep the
Okay.
watch level, and we would keep everything, the timing on it perfect. And this one was
Isolate
built.
from the
This was
vibration of the piston engines.
Now back to, should I request an EEG after one seizure? So this one starts with it. She really just wants to know, is this going to be how it is every time? Should you want to get an EEG after every seizure? She starts it by Monday morning. I was awoken by the sound of my husband screaming. He was having a tonic-clonic, his first ever that we're aware of. We've been together 7 years and I've never noticed anything. Called 911 because I thought it was a stroke. Thankfully, I took a video. They did a CT at the hospital and blood work, all of which came back clear. Weren't able to get a neurologist till the end of the month. So we contacted our primary care and he referred us for an MRI next week. I really just want to cover all my bases here. He's 42. There are some things that may come into play after this seizure. We started evaluating some of his lifestyle choices and realized that he was having over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine per day. He's also stressed at
Hmm.
work and not sleeping as much as he should. Based on what I'm reading, some of those things
1,000
could cause
milligrams
problems.
of caffeine.
That's what she says. He's now
That's a
on a
lot
strict
of
one per
caffeine.
day.
yeah,
So
that's a
they
lot of
increased the rest
caffeine.
and water, no more soda and energy drinks, and he's going to bed between 9 and 10. Would an EEG be beneficial a month after the first event in case the primary care comes through and wants to get it done now? So this guy doesn't even have a neurologist to begin with, and she's tangled up in wondering how much should she even stress about getting the EEG this long after the seizure.
No, 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 no.
The neuro would need to see
I
that
mean,
thing. Sorry, Tom?
no, I'm sorry, I was interrupting you. I was just
Yeah, just
saying,
the neuro would be the one who would need to look at the EEG results anyway. So I don't.
we're not doctors, but personally, an EEGs suck. I'm sorry. Every time I had an EEG, except for when I was going for my brain surgery, they've always turned up clean.
Yep.
And unless you have got some serious issues going on, then I don't think an EEG would be, this long after. But then again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
Well, remember what the triggers could be too. I mean, an EEG, the point of an EEG is to detect abnormal brain activity.
Yes.
Since the missus cut his caffeine and energy drinks and soda, they made a lot of lifestyle changes cold turkey from what it sounds like. So even a couple days later, that might be enough of a trigger to show some event or remnants of, because for me anyway, any extreme changes to, diet or sleep patterns or something like that after 3 days
Uh-huh.
would definitely trigger something. So in his case, if the PCP can get them in for an EEG before they can even see a neurologist, no harm in data. If anything, it could be a baseline. What does his normal look like on an EEG?
Right, give him a baseline.
Yeah, so I would do something on this one, anything they can, literally, to
Or
make some
get
progress.
lucky and actually record something first try and walk into the neurologist with, here you go, here's what's wrong. Medicate me.
True miracle. First comment agrees. EEG should be standard operating procedure after a seizure. One of the first things the neuro should have ordered. And again, they just replied saying he didn't even see a neurologist. They only went to the ER. And God knows they don't really
Well,
always
ER
look out
seems
for you.
difficult.
Yeah, pretty much. Next one is the neurologist will schedule an EEG when he goes there. The point of that is to try to trigger the seizure activity. Mine have always come up clean. That does not mean you don't actually have epilepsy. Definitely take the video and take more videos if it happens again. Did they put him on starter seizure meds? And I didn't officially get diagnosed until 3 years after. Hesitant to diagnose epilepsy because every single seizure med wrecks your memory, among other things. Like all of us who have been on the meds for any amount of time have goldfish brains. ETA common triggers
Goldfish brain,
include
really.
stress, lack of sleep, caffeine, alcohol, flashing lights, and yeah, they gave another list of common triggers. And apparently poster says they didn't start him on anything in the ER. They didn't even send him home with meds. They basically said everyone's allowed to have one. And since the CT showed, no bleeds apparently, or whatever they were looking for, they weren't really concerned. He's a heavy video game user, but I'm not sure that's an issue. Who knows?
Not unless he's got problems with lights.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Rick. He had the doctor tell him, one seizure, everybody's gonna have one, and it wasn't really a problem that he had one. Yeah, Rick had to go through that. Luckily,
Everybody's gonna have one.
it's not a thing. Not everybody wants one, but yeah.
No, that's not what we're raising these little ones to believe. I do not want you to think it's ever normal to have a
Right.
seizure.
Right. I got something says concerned about family members' recent epilepsy diagnosis. Is it severe enough to worry? I'm reaching out because I'm really concerned about a family member who was recently diagnosed with epilepsy after an EEG test. They are most likely vocal tics and experience atonic seizures about once a week. The doctors have concluded that the epilepsy isn't severe enough to require medication at the moment. However, today something happened that really made me worried. My family member was cooking when they had a myoclonic jerk and fell to the ground while holding a frying pan. Luckily, the pan didn't fall on her, but I'm still terrified that if anything like this ever happens again, she could seriously hurt herself, especially if she were to hit her head. I'm really concerned. Is this still considered, in quote, mild epilepsy, or should I be more worried? Can epilepsy get worse if untreated, and should we consider seeking a second opinion or additional treatment options? I really appreciate any advice and similar experiences and others who've been through this.
Second opinion.
Second opinion, I say, so 2 of 6 of us.
Leptologist, if possible.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. How do you get one of those? Just ask your neurologist?
I got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky too.
Well, my
I
neurologist, my first neurologist referred me there, but I had to ask for the referral.
I would think the neurologist would be like, no, because they're trying to keep the patient. I wouldn't say customer, but trying to keep you as their patient, maybe. But that's nice that they referred you.
I don't think they can deny you a referral.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't do that stuff, but I wouldn't think that that's
It's definitely bad for business
right.
because any patient can write a review, make a call to, any kind of accrediting agency.
Yeah,
It
Let them
just
know
seems
how that's being
wrong.
run.
you can
Just
always
seems
go to a specialist and say that I'm looking for a second opinion. And this is my general practitioner or my neurologist. And they might go ahead and contact them for you. I don't know that, but that would only make sense to me.
Right.
I might be wrong, but
Well, anytime you're a
mean-
complicated case, that doctor shouldn't have a problem referring you somewhere else.
I know that's what I'm saying. Why? Why would you unless the doctor's afraid of losing a client.
Nah, it's too much liability. That's silly.
Yeah, that's doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. The first comment here says, I don't know, only her doctor can say that, but there's only so much that you or she or any of us can do. Doctor's orders basically make you sound like an invalid. No cooking, no showering, no driving or bike riding or anything at that, or anything at all, really alone. Obviously, this is impractical. I don't drive anymore or ride bike much, but otherwise, man, I still have to live my life. Still gotta live your life, guys.
That's it.
Another one says, if you tell doctor that this incident, can't see how, about this incident, I can't see how they don't prescribe medication. It's always best if you can find an epileptologist. A regular neurologist covers such a wide range of neurological conditions and
Yeah.
disorders.
Epileptologist is the way to go, if you ask me. Neurologists are too broad.
Okay, you got two more. One says I have JME, and as far as I know, I've only had myoclonic seizures. I've only fallen once, but I've broken plenty of dishes and glasses. I hit myself in the face, hit my arms on hard surfaces, etc. I haven't had a seizure yet while handling a knife or a hot pan, but I can easily see how it would seriously inquire me. I don't understand. Inquire me or someone around me. I think they should have put injure. Seriously injure someone around me.
Yeah,
My seizures aren't as risky as many of the ones I read about on here, but being on medication has greatly reduced the risk of injury myself. If your relative has had any close calls that could have resulted in any injury, I would consider medication. If their doctor isn't willing to prescribe medication, your relative should seek a second opinion. One more. It says if it is epilepsy, I don't understand the decision. Every seizure you have makes it more likely that you will have another one. It definitely can get worse if untreated. Atonic seizures can be very dangerous because you just fall. Even simple partial focal seizures can affect you in a lot of ways and make your life miserable. I don't know anything about myoclonus, but if this is epilepsy, it's very serious. I would see an epileptologist at a different hospital. You might not go to a different hospital, but I understand.
we'll find another doctor.
Got another post here. It says, I think I may have had an absent seizure. How do you guys tell if you all had an absent seizure? I was diagnosed with adult absent seizures during my last EEG, and I have been on edge ever since because I can't tell at all with them. Can't tell at all with those, and I don't seem to have any triggers for them that I'm aware of. They freak me out because I feel like the only way for me to tell I had one is if someone else is with me. Also, the reason I think I had one is because I got off work at 5:20 and I always stop at the gas station, and that is a max of 15 minutes from work. And I got a text message at 6. My girlfriend was asking if I was home or not, and I responded immediately, I was not. Like, I was not home, and I responded immediately and was like, not yet. I just finished pumping gas, so how did it take me 40 minutes to drive 15 minutes away, drive with no traffic, and that I remember, after leaving work at all, driving to get gas, buying gas. I'm literally freaked out right now. Someone help. I don't exactly know what an absence seizure is. You guys, can anyone explain?
An absence seizure? When you're unaware, pretty much when you have a seizure. I believe it's when you're unaware of having the seizure.
That's that one they used to call petite mal
Petite mal.
seizures.
Yeah.
It causes the person to blank out, stare into space for a few seconds, sometimes like eye fluttering or like mild muscle movements. And it looks like the timing they're saying for those are usually, it sounds like they're saying less than a minute overall.
That's what I used to have.
What's up, Jeff?
I've had a couple of those that have, it's just, you're kind of not there. You're kind of just staring off into space.
Mhm.
And they say 20 seconds. I've had them as long as probably a half hour, 45 minutes, where I'm just lost staring out the window and not
Uh-huh.
even knowing where I am. I've had a couple of shorter ones, but
That's what I tell people
that's,
I have mostly, like at work. Like
mhm.
I'll just be gone for a few minutes, and I'll be back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You go away for a little while and you come back.
yeah. We can
Yeah, it's a little
pick up the
vacation in your head.
conversation where we left off.
Right.
Would that be considered the same thing I have when I wander off? Because I'm actually kind of just out of it. I don't think I know where I am at all. Kind of just absent me. My body's there, but I'm not there.
Uh-huh.
That's really.
Isn't
What you have is
that
scary.
complex partial?
I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
I
I
think the
wander very
complex one is
far.
in there. That's the thing, since it's not just when you wander off, those seizures last longer and they definitely have more complex muscle movements that
Right.
take place when you're not aware. So I think that's where that they throw that complex word in there. When you're doing a little bit more while you're not there.
Aware. Right.
I always try to think about what was I doing when I was wandering and went 17 miles away from home. Like, I don't know if I had jerking movements, just the whole ride, 3 buses and a train. I couldn't imagine what I was looking like. People
Well,
probably
that's
looking
not a
at me.
focal aware. You are definitely focal unaware.
I woke up when I was getting off the bus wondering why I was even on the bus.
Yeah.
And the only way to get there was 3 buses and a train, at least 3 buses and a train. It could have been more. So I don't know how long it took me to get where I was, but yeah, I don't know exactly what they call that.
I'll tell you
And
And
I
they
what.
got
never
named.
really narrowed down an accurate diagnosis unless they had an EEG going on, because it all depends on what parts of the brain it took place in, it started in, if it spread or where it spread to, and
Right.
there's a lot of different ways to diagnose those kinds.
I got a Tom 101 diagnosis.
Yeah, Tom 101. That answers everything.
That's it. Means nothing, but it answers everything.
It means a lot. I told Kate I'm gonna get a shirt that says Tom 101.
Tom, you're
Under
wrong.
that,
You're
it's gonna say-
100% wrong.
I got a couple of the comments here from that last one about the absent seizure. Someone said, unfortunately, there kind of is no surefire way to know on your own. Definitely, time to stop driving until you sort this out. You're gonna hurt someone.
Yeah, amen. Have no
Another
business
one says,
driving.
Right. I don't think there's anything I can ask that you haven't already asked yourself. Did you leave straight away? Sit in the car on your phone for a minute, have to wait for a gas pump, but I'm sure you've already retraced. This is scary, and I'm so sorry about you experiencing this. My absence seizures usually last less than a minute, so I don't have an experience here. I do wonder if wearing a watch might help might help a bit. But when I was getting my seizures under control and unsure if I was losing time, I did help me ground myself sometimes to be able to look quickly at the time and know that I hadn't slipped into a wormhole. Wishing you the best. Would it be? I think I had well, not I think. One time I was on the bus and I had a feeling like I was getting really dizzy. And I was just like, okay, just gotta focus. I get off at the next stop. Next stop is my stop. And I blanked out and I passed that stop. And when I came to, I knew I passed the stop. And I was just like, yeah, I laughed at myself. And I was like, yeah, I turned a 10-minute walk home into a 16-minute walk home. It's pretty funny, but yeah, I was telling myself, just make it. And I just blacked out. Sometimes I find it funny. Maybe it's a coping mechanism, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we got a little something
no,
here. Provoked seizures. I have had 2 provoked seizures. Both happened after a
Well,
self-infliction. First time was 100 milligrams hydrocortisone. This time my B12. I was using the needles my doctor provided, but ran out, so went to the pharmacy, asked them for the smallest possible intramuscular needles. I injected as I usually do, but it hurt more this time and I bled. I had a bad seizure, felt like I was thrashing back and forth. I was watching a TV switching channels super fast while being in a rolling car accident. I came to, my husband was wiping the blood up. He said I was all tensed up and thought I was screwing around. He was getting a paper towel, so only saw the end of it. That was my 8th injection. I have 6 more to do daily before switching to 1 time a week. I don't want to inject again because that was so terrifying. Does anyone know what could be going on? I'm going to call the doctor Tuesday when they open back up. I did inject yesterday.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, they're just saying I should mention the needles I bought are an inch longer than my other ones. So, if anything, I mean, injections of a vitamin, any substance, would definitely take effect pretty quickly, putting it directly into the bloodstream. I would
Yeah.
assume that that is the trigger just for being, such an extreme shock to your system.
Yeah. I've never heard of injecting vitamins into your body.
Oh, yeah, a lot of conditions are treated that way.
I didn't know that.
The first comment, though, maybe they're suggesting it's for anxiety. They're saying they just give you something? Usually anxiety medications in some cases stop an active seizure. Okay, we know which ones they're talking about. At the very least, they should give you a low dose of Keppra or something beforehand. I would be pissed. Sorry, you had to deal with the anticipation of that. Yeah, especially if they're telling her to take 6 more shots a day before
That's
switching to 1 a
crazy.
week. Yeah. I mean, 1 shot a day before the next 6 days, I should say.
That's
Okay,
above
sorry
and
about
beyond my pay scale.
that. And then this one's saying, I did that caused by fear. Oh, okay, and they're saying if it's caused by a fear of needles, and then they drop some medical word, some kind of reaction. Vasovagal syncope can be convulsive and look
Vasovagal.
like. Oh, okay, they put an A. They can be convulsive and look like a seizure. So that's another one just saying definitely check with the doctor. Oh, so at this point she doesn't even know if it was epilepsy. Have you guys ever been accused of imitating or having another condition that just looked like a seizure?
I've heard that, but no, I've never been accused of it. I've heard
Yeah, it's
maybe.
funny
No,
where
never
they
been
come up
accused
with those.
of it. I've heard someone say, "Are you serious?" And I think that was because maybe they had a day planned or something, and yeah, I remember that. I seen it on camera. I seen a lot of stuff on camera that people don't know I've seen on camera when I have seizures, and you got to come in my room and get me. Yeah, seen
That's
some
never fun
things,
to
and some
watch.
people say things. Some people say things that they would not like me to ever find out. Too late now. It's ammo for
I
later.
never said it out loud.
Um,
The things
Say
that
that
I
again?
talk about you, Pokey, I never say it out loud.
Motto don't say out loud, but I got a post here. It says, just started Keppra. I've been on Keppra 500 twice per day. I've never had seizures before, but I am on another med, Wellbutrin, that can lower the seizure threshold. A couple of days ago, I ended up having 3 grand mal seizures in a span of around 14 hours. But since I don't have the title of epilepsy, all this is completely new to me. I've noticed that I've been very, very tired on Keppra, almost as if I'm dragging my feet. Is this normal? And what side effects should I be expecting or looking out for? Thanks. Pray for the best, prepare for the worst.
Well, when you get your medication, you get a stack of papers that tell you all about the medication and the side effects.
Don't get the paper that they give you. And the paper that they give you doesn't really tell you a lot of side effects. It tells you the possibilities if you drink or if you do this and that with it. But I say,
no, I get mine through the mail. I just take the medication out and throw the rest in a recycle bin.
But it's never clear about what the interactions are.
Right. Oh no,
Even
no.
if you're, not the interactions with other AEDs or benzos,
Right.
because if they're not deadly, it's like those are the only ones they actually have to put in that paperwork.
Exactly. That's why I don't even read any of that nonsense.
yeah, I suggest find your support system that's going to stick with you through this, because I heard the anger problems and that stuff. Sometimes people run people away, I've heard. I have not run anyone away with my attitude or anger towards people, but I've heard about it. So I say prepare for the best. I mean, best, prepare for the worst, and just hope everything goes good. Let everybody know you're taking Keppra and what it does and the possibilities. Yeah.
The girls at work know that I take Keppra, and I told them all about Keppra. So they say, "Well, Tom's having one of his Keppra things." Tom's having issues today.
Got a couple comments here. One says, I had a really bad time with Keppra. I started on 500 milligrams twice a day, then went to 1,000. My mental health went straight down the toilet.
How much
I
do I
wanted to stop my life every single day. I switched to Vimpat and immediately went away. Still having seizures on Vimpat, but the mental health stuff is gone. This is only my experience, though. Others are very successful with Keppra, trial and error, unfortunately. Another one says, does your doctor believe Wellbutrin caused your 3 grand mal seizures? I would rather back off of the Wellbutrin and continue taking it along with an anticonvulsant. Another one says, watch out for the Keppra rage. It doesn't hit everyone, but it hit me hard. I'm talking about blackout rage. I switched to Briviact. And then there's Jeff here saying that's why I switched to Fycompa. Rage was totally in charge of me. One last comment says, hey, I'm on the exact same dosage and I have been seizure free since I started almost a year ago. I had some grogginess, which disappeared after a couple weeks, yet to experience any other side effects. I exercise 4 to 5 times a week. Stick with it. It doesn't subside. If it doesn't subside, try something new. Wishing you all the best. Does anybody know what MTLE is? I don't.
Is it mesial temporal lobe epilepsy?
Very well possible.
Sounds right.
As good as anything, Mark.
This one says MTLE nightmares. I almost never have nightmares. However, since my TLE has emerged, I've gotten worse. I occasionally have them in bursts. The nightmare feels like a loss of control. Could nightmares be a sign of seizures in my sleep? I usually wake up feeling panicked and not well rested. Yesterday, I had nightmares, but ended up sleeping for 4 to 5 hours through the rest of the day, which is very unusual for me. But that does make sense if I had a seizure. Anyone else have similar experiences or comment on this situation? I'm also noticing that the nightmares, maybe seizures, are linked to excessive daytime sleepiness. Has anyone else noticed this or heard of it? There's only one comment, and it says, I would say it could definitely be some epileptic activity. My seizures are often cause me to wake up and then have a seizure. Not to mention the dreams are usually more vivid after I feel unwell throughout the day. When it comes to what I've heard from other people with epilepsy, they do tend to have more vivid dreams and nightmares quite often. Not sure what caused it, especially in their case, but I can safely say that you're not alone.
Yeah, the amygdala and hippocampus are involved in that part of the temporal lobe. So the limbic system is the fight or flight kind of trigger. So when that is involved in nighttime seizure activity, that can definitely cause nightmares and recurrent nightmares in people with that particular it's a specific part of the temporal lobe that is involved there. So
That's one of those ones they always need the really invasive EEGs to narrow down.
yeah, or the deep parts.
So they wouldn't know that just from an EMU?
No,
No.
not unless you did an inpatient stay with the SEEG.
Could it show up as just a temporal lobe activity just by the time that the electrical signal reaches the surface, perhaps?
Assuming
Yeah.
that it
Everything if
doesn't
they
stay localized.
everything with me showed up as right temporal lobe. And then the doctor said I had an irritable brain when I sleep. And my focals, I get weird, like chill things.
Yeah.
It just makes me think with the fight or flight thing, if that has something to do with the like goosebumps, chill, response. If it's
Yeah, so that's
related
usually
in
what they
some
go
way.
for when they start asking you all your physical symptoms. That's
Yeah.
how they ended up deciding with me. It was definitely on both sides.
Yeah, that was the only comment, and thanks you guys for your input because I had none of this. I have no temporal lobe. I have what they call encephalomalacia from car accident. Soft brain tissue, if you don't know what encephalomalacia is. I mean, after getting it, I pretty much learned how to say it, but I forgot what it was when they were like, tell your primary that you have encephalomalacia. I told him, and he's like, I know. That's why you have seizures. He's like, oh. The emergency room told me to tell you like it was a big deal that you didn't know. That's why you don't listen to the emergency room people.
No.
Sometimes.
When it has to do with seizures,
Right.
anything
Got
else,
one,
yeah.
got one that says keen on going into teaching. Hi, I am keen on becoming a teacher and teaching students in special education schools. Fortunately for me, my seizures have been controlled for many years and I have been off medication for almost a year. However, 2 months ago, I bit my tongue in my sleep for the first time and suspected it might be epilepsy. I pushed my appointment with my doctor forward and told him about it. And unfortunately, he told me that it was epilepsy. And now I'm back on medication and I am taking carbamazepine. Now I'm feeling fine with the medication, and I am hoping to stop the medication again in the near future. However, I am afraid that if I do go into teaching, I might get into an attack again. Are there any teachers with epilepsy who has epilepsy but have been teaching for many years and managed to control their epilepsy at work? Please share your experiences, and it will be a good insight. Thank you.
A couple people, we've read a few of those here. teachers that are functioning teachers.
Yeah. If you had a seizure, I don't suggest like working. Well, if you think you can control it, then do that. But I personally wouldn't suggest working with children with special needs with you having seizures. They're not going to be able to help. Well, actually, I'm not even sure. Don't let me say that. I don't know what some people can do. It might be better than some others, but you might need more help than they can offer. Stuff like that. And that can be bad. That was like the situation where I had a seizure in class. My teacher ran off to go get the school nurse instead of calling. So yeah, leaving you there could be bad if they don't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
You guys ever had anybody run off and be alone?
Oh, I'm sure.
One
That
comment here is,
prompted some important family talks.
oh yeah. I got a comment here. It says, my sister had a teacher with epilepsy in primary school. He did have seizures. Rarely did it happen. The children were taught to run to the next class and get help. He was a very good teacher. That's not safe. Well,
That's definitely, we read that one before.
yeah, maybe.
And
Been through.
they were told to run to the next class. That sounds familiar.
It does. Kind of. Go to the next post. It says, I feel like I don't have options. Since I lost my insurance, I've only had the money to get my meds through GoodRx, and that's barely. My neuro, who has been great in a different state, because I couldn't find one in the Indy to take me seriously, but it's getting to the point where my neuro feels like she can't help me from so far away. I can barely afford the telehealth appointment, currently on Vimpad, and hate it. Feel like my body is saying help me, but I don't know how and don't have the funds. Waking up with a swollen face every day. Today I had a bad dark circles that I've never had before. Looks like I got hit in the face. I do almost nothing but sleep, and eating is hard because of the meds. Really feel like I'm going down, and my family doesn't seem to realize how bad epilepsy is and what could happen. I don't know. I went to 2 job interviews and then got home and slept for the rest of the day because waking up at 11 a.m. felt like 7 a.m. and my body was exhausted. Well, the person wasn't asking a question, they were asking for advice.
Yeah, I don't think, that's really, she needs a more stable type of job. Somewhere she could have insurance and such.
Yeah, I haven't had a neuro in different states. So I don't know what that's like.
It wouldn't work on a state issued, like, I don't think Medicare and Medicaid would be friendly with that.
Well, I've got Medicare, but I do have doctors over in Portland that I go see, neurologists.
Oh, okay. So if Medicare's friendly with it, then that's a benefit.
But it's the same.
Isn't that the same state?
No, I live in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh,
And
okay,
Oregon
sorry.
on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're Kaiser doctors, so it's not a different facility. If that made sense to you, they're still
Yeah, they've
Kaiser
got to be
doctors.
affiliated
Yes,
under the same practice.
yes, they are. So that, I guess, doesn't isn't part of that.
One comment here that says it sounds like you need a local doctor. Usually they're willing to help out with appointment and testing, so you don't have to spend more than necessary. If you tell your doctor that you don't have insurance, they will usually give you about a 50% discount. When they bill you, just tell them and ask them if they can make an adjustment. It also says, I've also used low cost clinics on a temporary basis. They won't want to write a prescription but regularly, But if you have to explain things, they will probably write you a month or so until you can see your new doctor. Once you get established, definitely ask them about different meds.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.